Hello, music multiverse listeners, and welcome to Beyond Your Radio. This is Keep It Dark, and tonight we take a different venture into a culture that shouldn't stand for this kind of bleakness. In fact, it should be in a pussy willow and squirt gun revolt over it. But before we go any further into self deprecation or exploiting a race of hardworking people, arguably the best problem solvers that can do this kind of thing with very little resources and persistence that might only be rivaled by slavery, I'm your Slavitican host with the most, Mark Kulagowski. I spell it S-K-I because I don't know how to spell toboggan. Once I was approached by a person with Polish Pepsi can that I couldn't open because it said other side on each end. I was told to avoid going to any concerts in Poland as every seat is almost behind a pole. I did spring training once for a Polish hockey team that I coached. They all drowned. I once went into a South Buffalo bar and asked the bartender if he wanted to hear a Polak joke. He said, "Now, wait a minute. The two gentlemen here at the end of the bar are police officers, and this couple teachers over here in the Catholic school here, we're all Polish." I said, "Never mind. I don't want to have to explain it 5 times." My junior year in high school, I was hanging out at the beach, and this beautiful girl comes up to me in a slinky bikini and starts to, give me the eye, and I didn't know what to do. I was kind of mesmerized by the whole thing. So I asked my friends, what should I do? I'm a little nervous, and they said, well, maybe wink back at her. So I gave her the old wink back, and then she started swaying her hips and dancing to this music that was playing, on the beach in some boombox, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And they said, well, why don't you get up, sway your hips, and dance too? So I got up and I swayed my hip, and she seems smitten with the whole thing. And the next thing I know, she's taking her top off, and I don't know what to do. And pure panic sets in. I look at them. What do I do now? And they said, well, show her your nuts. So, all kidding aside, my family and I have shared jokes, stories, and my kid's sister even once said at the dinner table, "Want to hear a Polylock joke?" And I thought we were going to have to call an ambulance because my father couldn't stop laughing so much. I thought he wasn't breathing. So it's who we are. We love the self-deprecating humor. We love our pierogies, our culture of hard work, our ability to figure things out, even though maybe we didn't go to college for whatever we had to face, I mean, thanks, Corona. I can't believe people are still buying that beer after all the harm it caused. The big question here tonight, in the darkness now, even though the polka was not created in this marvelous Catholic, Orthodox, steadfast, hardy, and eager race of Europeans, when did they suddenly succumb to death growls, thrash, double bass drum profundity, and sludge stoner black metal that might require holy water? Not from squirt guns on Dingus Day, but more so from a splash park. Major proportions of this might be required once you start listening. Can you ever come clean? This is completely unorthodox, my music multiverse listeners. And while it's a vast rabbit hole, okay, that could go on for days, I'm going to use this time to give you a lovely spread of darkness that the Polish are invading America with, inch by inch, club by club. No more jokes. This is Keep It Dark, after all. Bleak Dyngus of Days. Let's start off with something that has a dark familiarity and certainly English and U.S. influence, right? So let's start with acid drinkers that kind of maybe was the catalyst here. They're from Poznan, in a city that's near the River Warta in West Poland. And it's the birthplace of the brand of thrash metal with homage to people like Motorhead and Black Sabbath. And you can get all that from their album Fish Dick, which has covers of Black Sabbath, Motorhead, but not to mention a clever and punky Another Brick in the Wall. AC/DC, Slade, and even No Means No, which has been mentioned on this channel. Oh yeah, and of course it's got Kiss, but so it starts in the unruly punk, and then the metal and thrash come in, and it's kind of like the backbone sound against the rawness that eventually finds a bigger sound in production as the years go on. This is a very late 80s band start, and they were doing, um, they were doing this instead of folk, polka, or folka. Sure, maybe Weird Al was, but not acid drinkers. You think Iron Maiden has album covers that are fantastic? Maybe Slayer? Ho, ho, ho. Let's go to Behemoth. And their name says it all. Welcome to Gads. No, it's basically what? Danzig, which is a Polish seaport. But this bunch would tear the pier apart and build burning vessels just to take a picture for their album cover. This is heavy death metal, bordering on secular lyrics, paganism with unapologetic, snarling, screamy vocalisms that I cannot even explain to you. I'm kind of wondering if Adam Nurgle Darsky, and he goes by Nurgle on stage, has no choice now but to talk like this.
We'd like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
The band noise death metal that started out on their EP has gushed black oil for them over the years. And I want to say that it's grown and it's become so much stronger and darker in this 30 years. But this is not singing, this is demonic directive and sinister guitar as a beckoning of the unholy. Are they that way? Well, there's so much so that in July of 2007, the All Polish Committee for Defense Against Sex directly distributed to many Polish officials a list of bands that allegedly promoted Satanism and murder. Critics of this policy primarily see this as a violation of free speech, of course, but the list has not gone into effect. But in all fairness, they're not allowed to play Poznan anymore because of such things. In October 2014, this changed when Behemoth was banned. Just banned. The pure evil? Quite possibly. And from Poland? I know, it's shocking. I mean, Marilyn Manson has nothing on Nurgle and Behemoth. That's for sure. Not all of this has to be punishing by any means, to be bleak. There no need to be pounding of instruments and musical blood sacrifice, although, it probably looks good on stage. Let's look into a darkness of a progressive rock band that does it sometimes a cappella. Yeah.
Hiding in the fallout shelters while the gardens of Eden are burning above. What if it's not? If it's not meant to be? What if someone has made a mistake?
This is Riverside from Warsaw. This progressive rock band has the underlying depressive shadow that they can express through hypnotic progressive groove and deeply beguiling lyrics that they can only be delivered like dagger-like precision by Merlu's Duda, who's like the Doda of ethereal metallic progression. It's haunting, just plain haunting, really. The soundtracking beauty that surrounds it, too, it lures you in. It sucks you in. It keeps you there. And no matter what album you choose, they're all going to give that power of that to you. Truly one of Poland's greatest progressive exports. When we get to Krakow, Poland, I choose the fuzz and the 70s heavies on the latest of bands in the mix, technically. This is Stone Error The name itself is just as catchy as their riff, mysterious as their ways to weave an album. And they've got in their, short span from 2016, 2009, they got two very good records. It will exercise your stoner rock demons, leaving you thinking of the influence of Caius and of course Drop D Stone of Soundgarden for sure. It's heavy but accessible and delivered with pure precision on both length albums. And truly, like in the stoner rock realm and how that's going right now, they need to get an album out now because stoner rock's really hitting a pretty good groove. Sure, there's Dope Lord, there's Decapitated, along with Riverside that have caught fire in the U.S., right? These bands are in the U.S. and they get a pretty good play. I'm trying to think of the other one. Weed Pecker might be another one that people might know, but they kind of don't fall into this category. But I'm here to sell you some others from the land of potato and pierogi, right? So I bring you into Batushka and Patriarch. So it started off as Batushka in Białystok, the capital city that actually uses Voivod in their description, this voivodeship. So that's a little segue into the progressive Canadianisms of Voivod. But anyway, you can look it up. This is a band, that has the path that they tread carefully in the minefields of Behemoth. This is black liturgical metal. It's like a procession of faith. Though maybe you're walking backwards, and so is the record. It's a darker faith and manifestos that have areas that the chants are frighteningly attention-getting, and then the next moment you're swallowed up in an aggressive demon screech, penetrating, basically a fight for your audio soul. And some of us love that idea, and some of us will go screaming into the back and hiding in the pew. It's captivating, if you will, and captivating all at the same time. It's a struggle that matches human nature and the spiritual embodiment of orthodox versus paradox. And when they move into being called Patriarch with KH, they find another sound, like a notch that shakes their own dark cathedral foundation, which is very interesting. They get into basically progressive metal and doom. I mean, the doom was always there, but now it just seems like it's being processed that way, being produced that way. They are a glorious listen that spare no title, that will help you identify any of the songs. The meek-mannered Polish descendant that you are. Repent, because you have to, immediately after listening. That's what you have to do. I'm sorry. How about a band led by Adam the First Sinner, a graduate in psychology from Warsaw and a multi-instrumentalist? This is your cookie growl monster father vocal. However, you can discern and follow both the vocal and the black metal manifesto death that's dealt to you. I got a workout kind of aggressiveness and a thundering riff with, complex drum work. I mean, all of these have that drum, the double drum, and just the speed of that is crazy on the feet. It's complex. It makes room for all kinds of thrusts and pushes and pulls and pulsating modification to give your ear the workout and fierce presence required for such times. This is Hate. Yep, that's their name. And their latest 2025 album is Bellum Regis. And it's early thrash metal that definitely becomes accessible as you listen, and probably a really good one of the better ones this year for sure. There are others that fall into this pit and dark pendulum of note. You got Amalkium, their album Sheer Hashroom, which is a Polish Italian blend of collaboration with some interesting tricks. In there, but a vocal that is just unmentionably descending into scream and growl and guttural mutter that might be able to scratch that itch for those of you that really have that. But I didn't. My ear doesn't even know this existed. The next band is called Zmarlym, Zmarlym, who have a blend of guttural monstrous vocals, but they also have some harmonies that blend into the black doom metal void and vocal, and a very catchy and pulsating position from time to time. The album title and most of the songs are in native tongue, but the production is equal to the passion that they're providing here, that's for sure. Of all of these, that one seems to have that quality of production, the harmonies, and guttural vocal that seems to all fit together in although I can't say in harmony because it's not what it's meant to be. And then there's also Thanatorian. This is their album is called The Ecstasis of Subterranean Current. Now, when you've got a title like that, you know exactly what you're in for. It's a completist doom with a punishment that is palatable. It's crushing, but it's tempting at the same time. And a vocal that is definitely being made cavernous. All right, and that's kind of where I fall. I love the cavernous side. I know it's an effect, but it's a profound effect here. It rises monstrously above the sound walls that are forcing and pushing against any and all possibility of his vocal getting out. But then letting the dark instrumentals breathe too. And the instrumentals here are dark and fantastic. Finally, let me give you two on the outskirts that I really and truly found kind of surprising in their dark end of this approach. Gravity Eater, Blue Supergiant. This is from 2022. This has got some Bad Religion kind of mounted to thunderous riffs, sonic, punky, and heavy blues grooves. Now, does this reach the doom arena? Well, it's kind of bleak and dark at points. They have a way to just take the song on a journey, and with this approach, you're going to follow them the entire way. And I think that's a great way to handle this. There's surprises along there. There's bridge work here that swells and shifts unexpectedly from maybe touching other genres, which is really cool. I didn't know this record in 2022, and I'll tell you, I would have loved it back then. It has a garage level to it, even that is definitely letting this power trio fuzz and rip to their heart's content. Maw is my final one tonight. Their album is called The Humble Collapse, from this captivating Argonauta Records, which we just talked about on another show. This is tightly produced modern progressive stoner rock that knows how to build, it knows how to capture, and it eventually uses the sludgy torture for your audio mindscape, like that of like Sleep, for instance, right? Maybe Dope Lord even. And then throw you completely into the sounds of a garden made in the place of Down. Yes, that band who's also been talked about on this channel and I believe does have a record coming out. It's interestingly raw, but it's fearlessly toned vocalist that uses a modern stoner punk delivery that sounds filthy. It sounds flexible and, well, just darn right survival ready. And that's a great vocalist. When you don't have this complete range, or you're not Adele, you're not Bruce Dickinson, you're you, but you bring it. This band is totally encapsulating it all with all kinds of sounds that you won't catch on your first listen. And usually when it comes to stoner rock, you're hearing everything on the first listen, most of the cases, 75 to 85% of the time. This is not that way. You're going to realize the magnitude of this kind of audio darkness and feel that menacing groove to it all. It's exceptionally good album. I know this is a lot to digest. It's like, I don't know, slow stilled kielbasa with duck's blood soup. It's dark, dark good. If you're going to go down this rabbit hole, this dark rabbit hole, venturing in here, when you return, let me know if you hung in there or if you're going back to straight up polka. We're on the web, beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. Articles, videos, podcasts coming soon. It's all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. And I'll see you for a special episode tomorrow, Friday. We did manage to get in the Panelist Favorites show. Drummers Part 2. I'll be releasing that tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and happy listening.